Hello, I'm Peter Lattimore here interviewing Robert Gladwell, architecture student and TAFE lecturer, about his journey becoming a Quark subscriber. Hello, Robert.
Hi.
Good. Drink coffee. You'll need it.
Yes.
So, Robert, tell me about yourself and your Revit use.
So I've been using Revit for just over 8 years now, and that's pretty much about it. For 4 years I've been using it professionally, but 4 years prior it was just a bit of a fun thing. But now I use it daily, really, in my professional work, architecture and building design for uni and work stuff.
Well, that's quite amazing because you're one of the few people who we've noticed who came through education institutions and almost immediately began using it, and you also took your knowledge straight into architecture school.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it helped a lot going through TAFE first, because the skills in Revit is something that's been able to employ really easily over at QUT. It's helped a lot.
Now, tell me, Robert, when did you first subscribe to using Quark for Revit?
I subscribed quite a few months ago, but it was a bit of a slow start for me because I was a little bit busy. But I'm using it daily now and have been so for about a month, I think, 3 or 4 weeks, about that.
Okay. How did you discover the thing in the first place? Like, I know, but I'd like to hear you say it.
I was at a building design and the Building Design Center, one of your branch events, and you made me aware of the system that you were starting up. And about, I think, 2 weeks later, I met your business partner,
Mark Wilson.
Mark, and at the Brisbane event, and he was telling me about the system. I thought it sounded good, so I wanted to give it a try, being one of the first students to try it. And
you were actually.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So you're a mover and shaker. You're ahead of the curve.
Well, it just seems like a good idea when you guys were explaining it to me. I mean, you were explaining how BIM Object and NBS, and I've noticed this quite a lot. They're all in file standards that are foreign, European and American and all that, and it's very hard to find Australian family files, for Revit.
Tell me, Robert, you're using the free version, and that is mainly because of what? Is it because we told you it was free?
I'm using the free version at the moment because I like to try trials, and also because I'm a student, I like to try trials before I commit to anything. That's the reason why I've gone with that so far.
There are other free resources out there, but from a did you see the use of Quark for Revit better than those other free uses, like Revit City and there's others like it?
Absolutely. Well, my main pet, I guess, disappointment with resources like Revit City is they're great, but a lot of the resources that you get from them are quite inaccurate, and they end up causing more problems than is really needed later on, particularly if you're new to Revit. But I kind of get the same problem with NBS and BIM Object, but not as much. But the other three resources like Revit City and I believe it's called FreeCAD Blocks or something along that lines. I don't think I've yet downloaded a file where there hasn't been some form of compromise problem. If that answers the question.
Yeah, actually that does. Because I'm a long-term user, and I've got to say that we have had to repair literally everything we get from the internet, except some manufacturer content, and that's actually reasonable. But we have tried in Quark for Revit to really make them useful, accurate, parametric, and so on. And I'm guessing that's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, come to mind, the only resource, like you were saying, the only resource that I found from those free websites so far has been a boom gate for a garage. That's the only 100% accurate one that I've actually found so far. Everything else hasn't been what I was expecting, I guess. So I've had to go through and make changes myself and get them up to a BIM level that I'm satisfied with.
Well, see, you're one of the few, recent students, Robert, who actually knows what you just said, that full BIM standards is what you are looking for. So
Yeah,
do you think Quark for Revit has solved that?
I don't think Revit solved it, but I think Quark is helping solve it, certainly. The integration between Revit and Quark has been much more seamless than I can't think of any other resources that can compare for it. To be honest, when I first started, I was a little bit skeptical of how fast you would be able to bring accurate Australian standards components into Revit. But now I'm starting to see the benefits. It's just a drag and drop simulation, and it's perfect, pretty much.
Yeah, the speed is something that is part of it, but also just having Australian content that works is helpful, obviously, for you.
Exactly.
How did it influence how do you think it influences students as they're coming through the free version of Quark for Revit, I mean?
Well, I haven't yet experienced the paid versions of Quark, the more premium versions, but at least in the free versions, if you're comparing that to something along the lines of BIMobject or even Revit City, if one of my students, and even me, comes to the teacher and says, I've got this in here, and I'm asking, okay, what is it? Unless it's an Australian standard, like what Quark is producing, there's all the problems with tags and everything, and it may be the wrong information. It may be a door that can't even be manufactured in Australia. So, that's the real benefit that I'm seeing from it in comparison to the other.
So, do you think it can help students, particularly if we add more manufacturer content?
Absolutely, yeah. The more you could add, the better, because it would essentially be a digital version of a resource like the Building Design Center, where we where we don't have to grab a door that's American and then spend 10, 15, 20 minutes, even longer, changing it to an Australian standard.